Temperatures are on the rise, baseball is back, and the Cadbury eggs have all been sold. That can only mean one thing: spring is here. And when the seasons change, a new top 10 comics to invest in before it's too late video is never too far behind. Let's check out the books. Spring 2021 is upon us, and the comic market has gone absolutely crazy. Prices for many key books are up 2 or 3 times or even more from just a year ago. For God's sake, White Vision was in dollar bins 3 months ago, and it's still selling for over $100. The crossroads of increased expendable income and an ever-expanding speculation market have led to the realization of simply mind-blowing sales prices for a wide variety of books. Record sales were being set and then broken on a daily or weekly basis for several key issues, and prices are still moving upward. Without a doubt, we are in a seller's market. If we're just meeting, my name is Drew Stewart, and I'm the owner of Como Comic Books, a Columbia, Missouri-based comic book vendor. Here on our YouTube channel, we bring you the best tips and tricks to help you take your comic collection to the next level. If you're looking for comic book collecting, entertainment, or investing content, then stick around for more of that. And finally, thank you to Otis for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get into the list. Starting off our list in the number 10 spot is Amazing Spider-Man 124, the first appearance of Man-Wolf. The alter ego of John Jameson, who is the son of J. Jonah Jameson, made his first appearance all the way back in Amazing Spider-Man number 1. Many years later in Amazing Spider-Man 124, while on a mission to the moon, because remember, Jameson is an astronaut, he found a mysterious red gemstone while collecting moon rocks. After calling in some favors upon returning to Earth so he could gain possession of the gemstone, he began wearing it around his neck, like everybody did in the 70s. Unfortunately, the gemstone reacted with the light of the full moon, turning him into the Man-Wolf, a werewolf-like creature. Currently bringing in the neighborhood of $250 for a high-grade raw copy, here's a few reasons I like this book right now. Number 1, Tyrese Gibson's character in the Morbius movie, Agent Stroud, has an established history with the Man-Wolf character. Number 2, around the time of Civil War, John Jameson dated and eventually eloped with the She-Hulk. You may have heard that she's going to get a show on Disney Plus soon. And number 3, this issue features a great John Romita Sr. cover and is a great issue from the Jerry Conway and Gil Kane era of Amazing Spider-Man. Coming in at number 9 is a book that's gaining some traction due to speculation associated with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show on Disney Plus. Incredible Hulk 449, the first appearance of the Thunderbolts. I know that I've personally enjoyed Zemo's story in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I could easily see Zemo's role in the MCU moving into the direction of the Thunderbolts. Founded by Baron Zemo, who brought together several former members of the Masters of Evil, the Thunderbolts were a team of villains pretending to be heroes to gain the trust of the public, all in hopes that they could use that trust to exploit the situation for profit. Typical, right? In the simplest terms, the Thunderbolts are more or less Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad. Published in January of 1997, this Peter David and Mike Deodato Jr. issue of Incredible Hulk sees Zemo's team confronting the Hulk as their new heroic alter egos. A rare gem from the later years of Incredible Hulk Volume Number 1, this issue is up significantly in value over just the last few months, selling around the $50 mark coming into the new year. A high-grade raw copy is currently going to cost you about $150. In the off chance that Marvel throws us a curveball, keep an eye out on Avengers number 6, which is the first appearance of the first Baron Zemo and the original Masters of Evil. Published in November of 1998, the number 8 book is the first ever Avatar book to be featured on one of our top 10 lists. Dreamwalker 0 is our number 8 book. In a short 4-page backup story from creator Eric Powell, we are first introduced to the Goon. Similar to the Crow, the Goon number 1 is actually bringing a higher price than his true first appearance here in Dreamwalker 0. In fact, the 4-page story from Dreamwalker 0 is reprinted inside Goon number 1, which was published by Avatar just 4 months later in March of 1999. Currently valued at $300 for a raw high-grade copy for the Goon's first appearance, Goon number 1 is currently bringing $400 for a high-grade raw copy. If you want to further complicate the situation, Avatar Illustrated #1 from June of 1998 includes the first page of the main story from Goon 1 and is considered to be the character's first cameo appearance. I know how we all need another cameo versus first appearance situation to argue about. With talks of a Goon movie being in the works dating all the way back to the summer of 2008, hell may eventually freeze over and this project could get off the ground one day. Coming in at the #7 spot is SHAZAM 28, the second appearance of Black Adam. 31 years after making his debut in December 1945's Marvel Family #1, Shazam's nemesis Black Adam returns after missing out on the entirety of the Silver Age of comics. Marvel Family #1 was reprinted in Shazam #8, but 20 issues later, Black Adam finally lands a new tale. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is starring as Black Adam in an upcoming DC movie, which is currently in production. The Rock is one of pop culture's biggest stars, and his involvement with the character is going to bring a lot of attention to Black Adam once the promotion of the project starts to ramp up. Currently selling for $490 for a high-grade raw copy, mid-grade copies can be had for less than $200 right now. If I was going to gamble on any DC movie project, I'd roll the dice on the one The Rock is involved with. Disney Plus is continuing to impact the comic market week after week as new characters debut, new Easter eggs are discovered, and new shows draw closer. The #6 book falls into the latter category. Coming in at #6 is Iron Man 282, the first full appearance of the War Machine armor. Published in July of 1992, this issue was written by Lynn Kaminsky and drawn by Kevin Hopgood. The future Disney Plus show titled Armor Wars will feature on James Rhodey Rhodes, Don Cheadle's character in the MCU, as he deals with a world in which Stark Tech has fallen into the wrong hands. While Iron Man 282 is the first full appearance of the War Machine armor, it's a long and winding road until we have both Rhodey and the armor together under the name of War Machine. In fact, in this issue, Tony Stark is still the man in the can, and Rhodey doesn't take over possession of the suit until Iron Man 284. But even at that point, he still goes by the name Iron Man until later in West Coast Avengers #94. Then the name War Machine is first used as Rhodey's hero name nearly a year after the armor's first appearance. So while you're out there digging for a copy of White Vision's first appearance in West Coast Avengers 45, keep an eye out for issue 94 as well. Currently bringing $100 for a raw, high-grade copy, a leading role in his own Disney Plus show could drive additional interest to this book over the coming months. Nothing is hotter than anthropomorphic animals lately. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 and Albedo 2 have both shot up into the stratosphere and show no signs of returning to Earth anytime soon. Due to this, books such as TMNT Adventures #1 and our #5 book are getting a lot of attention as substitutes for the original first appearances. Coming in at #5 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #47, the first appearance of Space Usagi. Written and drawn by Stan Sakai, who is literally the nicest guy you will ever meet at a comic convention, Space Usagi debuts in an 8-page backup story in the May 1992 issue of TMNT. A book that was on no one's radar until just a few weeks ago, TMNT 47 is now bringing upwards of $200 for a high-grade raw copy. The book's rapid increase in interest may catch sellers off guard, and this book is likely still out there for $5 or $10 in back issue boxes. I'm happy to report that I bought a copy for $5 last fall from a local comic shop. Thank God. Let's be honest. The Netflix Iron Fist show sucked. I mean, it was not just bad, it was bad. And due to that, our #4 book took a beating over the last several years. But it's now picking itself up off the floor from the roundhouse kick to the face it took from Netflix. Coming in at #4 is Marvel Premiere 15, the first appearance of Iron Fist. Published in May 1974, the product of Roy Thomas, a fellow Missourian, and Gil Kane, Marvel Premiere 15 begins a short run for Iron Fist in the series, before he lands his own title in November of 1975. Bouncing back from recent low prices, Marvel Premiere 15 is currently bringing $350 for a raw high-grade copy. With the Shang-Chi movie coming up on the MCU slate, the Kung Fu branch of Marvel is about to kick into high gear, and Iron Fist is likely to receive a rare second chance in the MCU. Fantastic Four hype is real right now. Next to the X-Men, there is no other property that is anxiously anticipated in the MCU as Marvel's first family. While the spotlight is shining brightest on characters like Namor, Doctor Doom, Silver Surfer, and Galactus, the first appearance of Annihilus in Fantastic Four Annual number 6 is our number 3 book. Published in November 1968 from the legendary creative team of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. While there's no denying the importance of the other previously mentioned characters, Annihilus has strong ties to both the Fantastic Four and Marvel superhero Nova. As the MCU's space adventures continue to expand, Annihilus could very easily show up at some point. This is also a square-bound issue, making it really tough to find high-grade copies. As such, high-grade raw copies of this book are currently bringing in the area of $1,300. But when you drop down to a mid-grade copy, which can be much more common, you can find those for under $400. Also featuring the first appearance of Franklin Richards as a baby, this issue should be added to your list if you're a Fantastic Four or a cosmic MCU fan. Coming in at the number 2 spot is Spawn 174, the first appearance of Gunslinger Spawn. In February 2021, Todd McFarlane announced the Spawnverse. Born from 3 new Spawn spin-off titles that would feature alternative versions of the Spawn character, the universe kicks off with a one-shot later this summer. The 3 new titles are The Scorched, Gunslinger Spawn, and King Spawn. With the announcement of the Spawnverse, related Spawn issues have seen significant jumps in value in the last 2 months. In fact, Spawn 174 is included on this list as a bit of a last call for the average collector, as it's currently selling for $450 for a raw high-grade copy. Published in January 2008, this David Hine and Greg Capullo issue has seen the largest jump in value since the announcement, with other notable related issues including Spawn 119, 122, and 141. Later issues of Spawn have been tough to find and pricey for a while now due to their lower print runs, but the Spawnverse is helping drive values and demand even higher, so if you're a Spawn fan and you want to have these issues in your collection, act fast. This video is brought to you by Otis. What is Otis, you might ask? Otis is an alternative investment platform where you can buy and sell shares of cultural assets including contemporary art, sneakers, and collectibles such as comic books and video games. It is as simple as downloading the Otis app and signing up for their service for free. Then just watch for their weekly drops of new assets, or you can search the catalog of previous drops to choose which items you'd like to invest in. From there, you simply manage your portfolio by staying up to date with the latest news and pricing information on your investments. And when the time comes, you can either sell your shares to other Otis members or receive a proportional return on your investment if Otis sells the item you've invested in for more than the price on which you bought your shares. At the time of recording this video, there were some great key comic books available. A gorgeous CGC 9.8 Incredible Hulk 181 with off-white white pages leads the way, but it is far from the only book available for an X-Men fan right now, as also available is a mind-blowing CGC 9.2 copy of X-Men #1 for Silver Age fans, and a CGC 9.8 giant-sized X-Men #1. Other great issues are also available. Download the Otis app and take a look. You can sign up for Otis with the link in my description and get your first share free when you fund your account. Terms do apply. Now, let's get back to the list. Topping the list of comics to invest in before it's too late for the spring of 2021 is Tales of Suspense 50, the first appearance of the Mandarin. This book is so far out of sight, out of mind right now that it can be hard to remember how hyped up it was prior to the release of the Iron Man 3 movie. Talk about a disappointment. We went in expecting to see Iron Man's greatest villain on screen at long last, but instead all we got was Trevor. I'm kind of still pissed about it. While we may never get to see Iron Man and the Mandarin face off on screen, there's a really good chance that he could pop up in the Shang-Chi wing of the MCU in the future. The MCU even teased that the real Mandarin does exist in the MCU all the way back in the one-shot titled All Hail the King, which was released with Thor: The Dark World. Published in February of 1964, this Stan Lee and Don Heck issue is currently going for around $1,100 for a raw high-grade copy, with mid-grade copies only being in the neighborhood of $400. Compared to other major Silver Age villains' first appearances, this issue is incredibly undervalued at the moment. So if you're looking for a value Silver Age villain first appearance with a decent spec angle, be sure to take a look at Tales of Suspense 50. 2021 is shaping up to be a year like no other. Comic book prices continue to set and break record sales prices over and over and over again. And the question on everyone's mind is, how high will it go? To go along with that is the counterpoint of, when is the bottom going to fall out? As a guy who's been expecting the bottom to fall out previously, I think it's safe to say it's not going to happen. At this point, it seems clear that the values for true key comics and blue chip books will continue to climb moving forward. There's a natural ebb and flow to the market, and while prices may briefly pull back here and there, the upward trend is likely going to continue to be the long-term result for these issues. We're undoubtedly in the flow part of the cycle, and the market is heavily positioned to the favor of sellers right now. So be sure to do your research and be careful with your investments out there. Happy hunting, and remember to collect responsibly. I'll see you in the next one.